We're on page, okay, this page number Nun Zion. We got the number Resh Gimel. I'd like to read across the top. I might want to skip this part, some of the two, because it seems to me that it's repetitious. It says, Od Akavana al Birchos al Natilas Yadayim. So, Od Takabe Bebirchos al Natilas Yadayim, the Shachris, so we'll go back to that. La'alo Salasiyat, what the Kavana is really that we're saying that we want to elevate Yitzira Lamala, Shlosha Yadayim Shamarno, and how would that be? Through these three hands that we're talking about. Shehem Chavaya Elokeinu Chavaya, B'yamim, Kozu B'muchsaz, and Kozu B'smol. And I realize why he moved the letter, while the letters are moved to the left. They move to the left because it's referring to the left line, because it's in your left hand. So all the letters are moved to the left. The Chavaya and then Ma, Yud, Ke, the Milui of Alofim, Be'emsa. So that represents the middle line that balances of them, and the whole idea is to move up from Olam Asiya into Olam Yitzira. Because the names itself, I guess these names are found in Olam Yitzira. Vayidei Shlosh Yados Elo the Yitzira, and then he says these are actually the hands of the of Yitzira. So therefore, it makes it sound like it's pulling it up to me. I can maybe read Yud Aleph, Yud Reish Yud over here, and we'll see what he says. Ana Ma'alam es Olam Asiyah. From that we elevate Olam Asiyah, and Ama Reish Yud over here says V'al Yidei Shlosh Yadus Ela the Yitzira. He says the hands really are words in Yitzira. Ana Ma'alam es Olam Asiyah. That is the ability to be able to move up Olam Asiyah. Be'elach Shlosh Yadayim Olam the Olam Yitzira. So now he says these three Yadayim are from Olam Yitzira. Ha'olim Mab Osios, and they come up to the number 42. So he said, Ramazah b'shem Mab, they're represented in that name. V'yedehim Ma'alim as Olam B'Hasiyah, and through them they elevate Olam B'Hasiyah, the Olam Yitzira, and it sounds like they're pulling them up. Let's go on to read the top over here on number Reshid Aleph. It says, Gam Yekave, also should have this Kavanah. Ki Roshe Tevos al Natilas Yadayim, who it makes the word Ani, which we have said before. This is like a little review, or let's see. Shuhu begematria Kal, which comes to gematria of 130. Shuhu ha-REVUAH v'acharayim shalavaya, which is the REVUAH, also known as the acharayim. So once again, he's telling us it must be upon him in an acharayim, and the REVUAH represents, if you had to make it a physical representation, it would be the acharayim. So he says, Shuhu ha-REVUAH v'acharayim shalavaya demand alofim. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up in my thoughts. The acharayim shalavaya demand alofim. The Yitzira lahamshach misham or gam came al olam hasiya, in order to be able to bring down light into olam hasiya. I just like to read that last part again. He says the REVUAH, which is on the acharayim, how to understand it's not so easy for me. He says what the acharayim. Now the acharayim is a REVUAH. It's a REVUAH of the Chavaya Dema, the Halafim, also comes out to be 130, and he says that this is a name from Yitzira, L'hamshech Misham, or Gam came al Olam Asiyah, to bring light also to that world. So let's look at number Reshid Aleph just in the Tiv, and there's also a little bit in the Shefa, might be interesting. V'chein yesh kavin, so there's also a Kavanah. Ki Roshe Tevo shall be birchos on the Natilas Yadayim, who osius Ani, and we said that Ani ola begematria Kal. So we have that Av Kal, but we have this phrase in the Sifra that's Niusa that's using the word Kal as well. So let's see what we're doing here. So Shem Havaya the Mashu Havaya b'milui alofim kazeh, and then he shows you the Havaya. Or the gematria Ma comes to the gematria of 45. REVUAH shuhu ha'ach shel chavaya dema, which is the backside of the vaya dema. So I'm saying, like, when you look at the letters themselves must represent the front side. Yud Vav Daled K Aleph Vav Aleph Vav K Aleph. But then it has a backside. The backside is composed of letters also. Shuhu Yud Vav Daled K Aleph, etc., as we see on the line. So it shows you all. This is what the backside looks like. So I'm assuming, I've always assumed that when he says the backside, that he means to say the place of transfer to the lower partsufim. That's what I always think that it means. So he says this is Ola Gematria Kal. It comes to a Gematria of 130. And then he says it's from Yetzirah. Shachashem Ma Hu Be Yetzirah. So we know that this is also goes with Zeranpin, Yetzirah, other things, and Tiferes, middle line. The Hamshik Bisham or Gam came al Olam Asiyah, and the purpose of it is also to bring light down into Olam Asiyah. So from this, then we see Yekavin lahamshik or Mizeh Hashem should be Yetzirah. So there's light in Yetzirah. So what we're trying to do with this, and I think that my definition is not so far off. So we're trying to use this REVUAH to bring the light, which is basically the light of the front of the letters, which is the Ma. We're bringing from the back of the letters, we're bringing them down into Asiyah. I think that still holds. Hashem B'Yetzirah Al Olam Asiyah. So then, let's see if we have a little bit more. It says, Gavar Yudati Chamesh. This is a different piece. Okay, I'm going to stop on that. Let's go over to the Shefa. Let me see how much time. Okay. The Shefa Gavanos, and we'll look at this. He just has a little vort on this. And he says, HaRevuah v'Acharayim. Nikra Revuah, Machmer Shnei Ta'amim. There's two reasons why it's called Revuah. Revuah is a Lashon Reva, or like a fourth, or something like that. So what does that mean? He says, Ha'echad, so he says one of the definitions, Ha'echad hu, Sharov HaShemos Heim Ba'arba Osios, that most of the letters are in 4 letters, or combinations of 4. So there you got Revuah and 4. So what are we talking about? Yud Kei Vav Kei. So I'm not sure he says most of the letters. So so in this way, it gets divided into 4 different pieces. That's one. He says that the Revuah is actually 4 sections, he says. It's going on. Arami Nikra REVUAH. So he says that there's also a word in Arami, which is REVUAH, which means Vuhu Kumo Arye. So it's like a lion, Harovet's a crouching or hovering lion, or crouching lion. Shebitzad Echad Hutzar, because if you look at it, it's just very narrow. It's just like a very limited number of letters, and he shows it to us on the next blade. Which is like a lion, is a small front, but the okay. So he says, "V'hu kamo arye," like a lion. This is like the Revuah. The word Revuah is also got some of these. It doesn't missing an I in there, but it says arye harovetz. This is a crouching lion. Shebitzad echad hutzar. Then on one side, if you see the drawing on the next page, it says it's just the yud. It's very narrow. He says sar. And on the other side, hu rocha, because it spreads out into the whole milui. So the same thing is true about this name. It's narrow at the top. Shehu rak os achas harishona shebashem. It's only the yud. Ukakol sheyored, and as it goes down, it goes on just like we see in this drawing, and gets bigger and bigger. And what we're finding over here in this way, it's called Acharayim. That what we're trying to say is it always is coming back to its original level. Arishona Shehu ha'os harishona sheb'Shem. So it goes. It starts. I don't know what he means by go umashem betzin the she'ofen zecha b'nikra acharayim is because it's always going hu al shem shel olam chozrim yoshvim al madrega rishona, that it keeps going back to the original madrega. I'm not sure I understand what he means here. Harishona shehu ha'os harishona sheb'Shem, because he said it goes back. When does it go back? I don't know that it goes back, but it goes forwards and back? I don't know. Okay, anyway, that's the shir on this today, and we'll get the rest next time. Okay, let me just, I got so many, getting all mixed up here. Okay. Now we're going to go to the Sifra Ditzniuta. Momentico, as I get